Today is a very important day for millions and millions of Americans because today marks the first day in 2026 that we can file our 2025 tax returns. Look at this. It says IRS opens 2026 filing season. Today, January 26th, is the first day you can file. This means those $4,000 checks that could be coming to the American people, because they're saying on average, people are going to receive anywhere from $3,800 to $4,100. Okay, that's a pretty big increase, meaning you could see your money in the next couple of weeks if you file today. But look at this right here.
So what are some of the dates we need to know, the numbers?
So January 26th, that's when you can start to file. You might not have all the forms and paperwork yet, but at least you can start getting that all together. There are some, especially if you have some investment accounts, those won't start coming in until February. But the first day to file is January 26th. And the refunds, $3,800 on average, according to the Tax Foundation. That's up 25%. So that's more money in your pocket this year in tax season, which is another reason to get it done early and get all of your things together. Also, the first $31,500 per couple and $15,750 for single people is tax-free. That's your standard deduction. That's what right off the top is going to come off of there of your adjusted gross income, and that is up considerably over the last year. So those are some important numbers to remember here. $31,500, that's up quite a bit from last year.
Yeah, that's up quite a bit. Again, an increase of 25% from last year. Now, I'm going to go over some of the big changes. I want to show you some of these things that are going to contribute to why you're getting more money back. Look at this right here. It says the tax breaks that may make the biggest difference. It says while Congress made a bevy of tax changes for 2025, for instance, offering a new tax break on car loan interest, a portion of tips and overtime pay, a $200 increase per child in the child tax credit. There's also the expansion of 2 common tax breaks and the introduction of a new one for seniors. These are going to account for the biggest increases for the average refund this year. So good news there. Now, even though we have some good news regarding this, these funds that could be coming out very soon, the problem is we are hearing that the American people should, well, buckle up. Look at this. It says Americans are warned to buckle their seatbelts as bumpy filing season awaits. What we've been hearing is that we could see some substantial delays in our tax refunds because the IRS is backlogged, they're understaffed, and then on top of both of those things, they have to deal with these new changes. According to experts who have been dealing with the IRS, they are saying that the IRS employees are a little bit concerned that they may be overwhelmed over the next several months. Even though we've been hearing that the IRS is trying to bring on additional staff for the next few months, they might not be having the best of luck. Listen to this though, because again, here are some more of the changes. I want to show you this.
Let's talk about tax deductions and some changes this year.
Yeah, some big ones here. If you're 65 and older, you don't even need to itemize. You're going to get this $6,000 bonus right off the top. So that is brand new for seniors. That is not significant.
There's probably an income cap.
Keep in mind that 65 years of age and older, it does not mean you have to be collecting Social Security. Anybody that is 65 or older will get this $6,000 additional deduction. Keep that in mind.
There's probably an income cap.
You can see Al about a loan after the show. The $10,000 in car interest is tax deductible. Also, you don't need to itemize for that. But is your car you bought last year, does it qualify? You need to look at the VIN number and go to some VIN decoders online. You can find out if it's assembled in the U.S.
Keep in mind, the final assembly of these cars, it has to be in the United States. If these cars were manufactured in other countries and shipped to the United States, again, rolling into the United States, that's a problem. They would not qualify, okay? And that's $10,000 in car loan interest. This does not mean $10,000 in payments, in auto loans. No, it's the interest alone, okay? That's what matters. And if you're paying $10,000 in car loan interest, you probably bought a very expensive car. Okay, let's keep watching.
$1,000 of car interest from a car you bought last year is tax-free. Tips and overtime, that is like $25,000 in tips and $12,500 in OT are tax deductible. That's important. And then this one, the big one on the bottom.
Before we get to that big one, I want to talk about tips and overtime. I've done a video on this over the past several weeks, and a lot of people were extremely upset because of what I was telling them. If you are getting paid in tips, okay, only a certain amount is going to be tax-free. Okay, you're not going to have to pay taxes on that. As far as your overtime income, here's where people are upset. They're furious that the Trump administration did this. Let's say you make $20 an hour, and yet you get paid $30 an hour, time and a half, for overtime. Well, the way the tax code works is you are not seeing that $30. Okay, that's not coming to you tax-free. No. Only the extra portion, the time and a half, that is what is coming to you. The half additional payment, meaning you will still pay taxes on that $20, but the additional $10, that right there is tax-free, but only up to a certain amount. That's where a lot of people are really upset, because they are just now figuring out that they've worked hundreds of hours in overtime thinking all that money was free and clear, where it's not. They actually have to pay taxes on their initial amount, but the additional portion, the additional half time, that's what you get tax-free. So again, it's a big deal. Let's keep listening.
The state and local tax deduction cap.
Yeah.
That big, long, alphabet soup, it has been raised from $10,000 to $40,000. There are middle-class families in New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, California, Illinois, who are going to get a lot more money back because of that big tax bump.
Keep in mind that SALT tax deduction is the state and local tax, okay? Now, that only works if you live in a state that actually has a state tax, like California, New York, okay, Illinois. Right? If you live in a state that does not have a state tax, that SALT tax does you no good. It doesn't impact you whatsoever. So that's part of the issue, is some people are seeing that, oh, there's this potentially $40,000 SALT tax. That's great. That means I get more money back. No, it only works if you live in those specific states. I live in Washington State. I'm not going to get anything. Okay? Now, I want to show you something. A lot of people are asking, well, if I file on this date, does that mean I will get my deduction sooner? Well, if you file sooner, you get your refund sooner. Yes. Look at this. Okay, it says the estimated 2026 IRS income tax return chart. It says right here, they start accepting returns today on January 26, 2026. It says if you file today, okay, you did your e-file today, you should receive your funds as early as February 6th. If you file by February 2nd, you should get it by February 13th. File by February 9th, get it by February 20th, 16th, 27th, and so on and so forth. So you see the idea here. Now, why are so many people extremely concerned about this? Okay, again, it usually takes you about 10 days. Now, the reason why people are so concerned about this money is because of us being told that we need to buckle up, because the IRS is understaffed. They have a backlog of returns that they haven't even got to in 2025, and they push them off into 2026. So they have to deal with those as well. So they have a staffing shortage, they have backlogs, and then on top of everything, they have to deal with these new tax laws, which some say there's going to be some issues. There's going to be errors, and we will see delays. As this happens, people could see their refunds get pushed further and further back. But here's the big thing. There's a lot of people that are extremely concerned about this for one reason. According to the IRS, what they have told us recently is that if you have a refund, if you have a paper refund or e-file, whatever comes in, and there's an issue, the paper refund will be put in a certain stack and will be dealt with at a later time. The e-file will get sent back to you. You'll get a notification, hey, You need to fix this. But again, it will push you to the back of the line. So if you make a mistake when you first file, they're going to kick you all the way to the back, and then you'll have to wait even longer. So what we're hearing is to double check, make sure all your numbers are right, make sure your name, your social security numbers, your address, your birthday, everything. It's all correct. All your dependents, 100% correct, because if your account gets flagged, if your filing gets flagged, they'll push you to the back of the line, and you're going to have to wait. So I'll leave you with that. But if you have any questions regarding any of this stuff, first off, you can ask down in the comment section below, but I'd really recommend you go and talk to a tax professional. I am not a tax professional, okay, and in no way plan to be one at any point, but go talk to somebody that knows the new law and can help you based off your specific situation. So I'll leave you with that. But again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.